In this video, we are going to learn about Fluent Validation in MVC. Generally, Fluent Validation is a validation library for .NET and it uses Lambda expression for building validation rules for your business object. If you want to do simple validation in ASP.NET MVC application, then data annotation validation is good. But in case if you want to implement complex validation, then you need to use Fluent Validation. Now we will learn using to Fluent Validation in MVC with example. Let's open a project. New project. Select Web, ASP.NET Web Application, Web App, Fluent Validation. Click on OK. Select empty MVC. Click on OK. Now open the Solution Explorer and right click on a models. Click add class, that is employee model. That will be the employee model. First of all, now right click on the project, go to the manage NuGet package, select a browser, right here Fluent Validation. Not install this one. That filter is successfully installed. Now close that. Now going to add some property. That is, first one is that properties is that imply, that is a first name, then property string last name, that code salary, address and address. Okay, this 5 properties I have added here. Now going to add that Fluent Validation. Going to create one more class. Select class. Now add that employee validator. Click on OK. Here need to implement that your abstract validator. Okay, it's coming into the namespace that a Fluent Validation. Here you need to add the employee model. Okay. Create the controller. Close this one. Close the controller. Now here you need to write the code. First one is that rule for. What's the rule? That is your model dot first name. If it's not empty, then this means that one it's a true. But if it's not valid, which like if it will be not empty means true. If it's empty, then you have to add the error message, that with message, that first name is required. Okay, first one is done. Now same for last name. Last name also just like rule for, that is a rule for model dot last name. If it's not empty, then it's okay. Means like a true, that means okay. If it's empty, means this, if this condition will false till here, if it will be false, then it will come to the with message. That is a last name is required. Okay. Same for the next. Just copy this one, paste. After last name, that is a code. Next one is a code. So code is required. After that code, what was that? Code, salary and address. Salary is required, so you need to change to salary. Then one more is that address. Address is also required, so I'm going to change this one to address, and address is required. Okay. Now next thing is that one for rule for, I'm going to add that salary should be between 0 to 5,000. So I will write model dot salary dot inclusive between that 0 to 5,000. I can write like a 10,000. If it will not match, then we'll write that error, that is a with message, that salary is not valid. If you want to create that some custom, just like if that code should be 5 character only, not more or not less, so I'm going to create that custom validation public. So I'm going to make a private first, private bool code validation, so that it will be coming that is string, that is string value. So in here we'll check if value dot length equal to if it's 5, okay, then return true, else return false. Okay, this one is that custom. So again need to write rule for model dot your code dot must, the name of this one, this particular method. If it's true, then it's okay. If it's written false, then we'll again with message code must be 5 characters. Okay. Now going to create that controller, add controller, select MVC 5 empty controller, that is a home. Here that one more action method, that is action result. This will be the index, and here it will be the employee model, that obj employee model. This one will be the post, http post. Now create the object of employee validator. Employee validator emp validator equal to new employee validator. Now validator result that I'm using your Fluent Validation. Now here we'll write validator your validation result. This one, because you have to check that Fluent Validation dot result. Go to result equal to employee validator dot validate. What you are going to validate? That object of employee. Okay. So if that is your done, here you will check that one. In the data annotation, you were checking that a model state dot is validate, but here you have to check that result dot is validate. That is valid. If it's valid, then it's not a problem. Okay. But for else, if it's not validate, then you have to like a for each loop. Result dot this result dot errors, and here I'm going to write like a failure. So now I need to add into model state dot add model error. This one is the property type name, and one more is that error message. Okay, that one. So finally it will return view with that object model. Okay, here I am going to add the view, add view, click on add. Now add that employer field. Here you add a model, that your employee model. Okay. Now using HTML.begin form. First one with the action method. Second one is your controller. Third one is that your form method, that is will be post. Now here need to add that all those label. So first I'm going to add the div. So some bootstrap, that class form group, and inside that label first name, then to write like a HTML dot text box for so model dot first name. Okay, the next one I'm going to add that attribute, it's like a new, that class, that is a bootstrap class, is that your form control. Now same for this one for last name. Okay, need to change here last name. One for this one for code. Right here code. One more. That is for what was that? Code, salary and address. So right here that code, salary and address. This one is that address. Address. Now going to add one button. Then input type. This one will be the button. I'm going to write input type is submit. Okay. Then class. Going to add button primary. The name, that value will be the submit. Now we'll add that one, that your validation message. So HTML dot validation message for same like that model dot first name. Then second parameter that your message, it will be null. Then third one is HTML attributes, that I'm going to write like a class equal to text danger. Same for all. To add here last name, this for code, this for salary, and this for address. So not only need to change this address, salary, code, this for last name, and one more is that validation message for summary, that is HTML dot validation message, validation summary, make it true. So everything is completed. Remove this one. That will come on design. Yeah. So here I have added that all those tag. Okay, that HTML, that label first name. Let's check here. In controller, it will come here, and it will check that it's valid or not valid. If it's not valid, then it will add into that model state dot add model error. And here it will change. Here we can check one more thing, because what will happen if it will be empty, then it will be written null. So it will check that if validation string dot is null or empty. This one. So it will check that one. If it's a null, then again it will return the false also. If it's not null, then it will come inside. Okay. Now run the application in Google Chrome. Now press the submit button. Okay, now you can see that everything, you are getting that error message. Now if you changed something here, just enter some dummy data, press that submit, see that error is gone. Last name also you added, error is gone. Code, once you added that 445, okay, now press the submit. It's getting the, you are getting the message, code must be 5 character, because here in that I have mentioned that code must be 5 character, because I have added the custom validation. So custom method I have added here. So it's returning that one, that error message, because once you will enter that 5 character, that 445 5 character, and press the submit, now you will not get the error message. Then same like a salary is, if you can check, it's 0 to 10,000. Now go, if I will enter more, then you will get salary is not valid. It should be 0 to 10,000. So I'm going to write that 5,000. You can see. Okay. I'll review one more times. Just close, stop the. Here, first what I have done. First we have created like an employee model. That is this your employee model. Okay. After that, I went to the NuGet package manager and install that your Fluent Validation. That this one is that Fluent Validation. It's added into the library. So I've added that Fluent Validation. So I've created one class that is an employee validator and inheriting that abstract validator. And here I am just, this one is the placeholder. So I am adding that one employee model. So here you can see here we are using that lambda expression, which we are checking that one, if it's not empty then it's true. Once it will return the false, it will become here if it's written the false, because that's why I have created one custom method that is a code validation. If it's false, then it will return the false. If it's false here, like a code validation here, must method and code validation. If it return false, then it's going to that here. Then we have added one controller, that is a home controller. In the post method, we are checking that one. First, we have created that object of an employee validator. So you can check here that employee validator, the validation result, that also you can get into that Fluent Validation and Fluent Validation result. And after the create that object of employee validator, so assigning that for result. In the result, it's the same like a model state dot is valid. For here, for Fluent Validation, it's a result. Here I'm checking that one, if it's valid, then it's okay. If it's not valid, so I am adding that one, that particular, into model state and returning that object. I hope it's clear. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. If you have any query, please write down in the comment section.